All right, everyone, welcome back to the AGS podcast 2024 season. Feels so good to be back. It's your boy, Rebel Scum, AGS zero-time champion, kicking it with a couple of other real AGS champs. We got the 2022 AGS champ, Ambassadors of Quan, on here tonight. Look at that ring. Did you eat your dinner off that?
I've done a lot of things off this, but thank you. God. The Quan's back in the house, baby.
It's great to see you.
I noticed that was just 1 year, you said, Nick, right? Like a one-time champ.
Hang on. God damn, dude. This guy can never just wait for his proper. He's got to just get it in on his terms. Yeah, Quan, you look like you just came off a nice fresh vacation. We'll chat a little bit about that later. And then I'm also joined by the commissioner of the league and the 2010, 2013, 2016, 2017, only team in our league to go back-to-back, only team in the league to win 4 times. It's the only time I'm going to say this all season long. Cebert Frogs.
Thank you. Glad to be here. that was a mouthful, man. That was a lot of championships you had to roll off there.
I'm gonna say that.
You mentioned Lou looking fresh off of vacation, and it felt like someone in the league had a little. It struck a nerve a little bit. I've never seen Cabo mentioned so many times in the group thread than I did, from during lunchtime today.
Yeah, in like a 5-minute stretch, that thread went from 3 messages to 64. And we're going to get to that actually, but I want to talk some actual fantasy football. This is our pre-draft special. First time we've ever done this. And I wanted to kind of deconstruct the keepers. This is a very exciting week. We've been waiting for it all year. And I think what we saw in our thread today really kind of showed the release that this is. It just felt like months of built up tension. All right, so
it was interesting that all the keepers were announced August 1st-ish, and it's been super quiet. I mean, I know there's like some holdouts, some hold-ins, some injuries here or there, but the deadline has now officially passed. I think it was August 17th, where, if you had a gripe about a keeper situation, you could challenge it. But from August 1st to August 17th, I don't think I heard anything. So the keepers were locked in.
And just to piggyback on what you said, Nick, I think that the league has been hungry for AGS and the thread to go off because it took no time. So we are back locked in.
None.
The rivalries have not faded away. It is on and popping.
Well, Boo showed a level of confidence that I haven't seen. I think he's so excited that his Papa Jaman T.Ruth. Oh, I'm supposed to use.
I'm sorry. Let's fantasy
it's
first.
Okay. I just realized we're putting this online on YouTube, and our actual government first names and last names are sitting right there. So
I won't worry about covering up names. But he's
actually, you know what? I'll find a graphic for that. It's all good.
He's so happy that his Papa T.Ruth is finally going to be there after a decade. That it's given him this like false sense of confidence going into the weekend.
That's confirmed. That's 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%. Not only is it confirmed by Jaman, but it's confirmed by Boo's arrival, where he's timed it perfectly to land in San Diego the exact same time as his Papa Bear.
That's impressive.
That is
really impressive.
It is. It's very it's a lovely the love you have for your father is it's nothing like it.
That's what they say.
I would like to give NJC props that he has the strength to break away a bit from the Rat Pack. Like, he can actually show up Friday and hang out and do what you're supposed to do. He's not going all in on the Saturday arrival with the other
TBD.
Saturday arrival is rough. That's a pretty rough one. Day of.
Yeah, it really is.
And we moved this up, right? Maybe we shouldn't discuss the itinerary for our 3 listeners who may not give a shit about what we're doing. But
that's a good point, that it has been moved up. This is the earliest start time for a draft ever, I think, and it's based because we want to try and hit the baseball game in the evening. So hopefully they show up on time and they don't delay the start of the draft.
and the fine dining steak dinner at night, right?
Right after the Padres game ends,
Right after the Padres
Michelin
game.
star rated restaurant that stays open until 10 o'clock. And we'll feed 14 of us that show up.
That should be no problem.
Yeah.
Smelling like beer and hot dogs. Yeah, so let's get into this. Let's get into this pre-draft keepers breakdown. I want to start from the top because I think the juicier bits are actually at the bottom. We'll just go right in with NJC, the league champion, 2023 champion last year, two-time champ. He went for it, took a big swing, and it paid off. I think that's the dream, really, of all of us who try to make that big trade mid-season and just put all the chips in. And it didn't look good for a couple weeks there, but what can you say? What do you guys think about his keepers? I got questions.
So I'll read them off. NJC is keeping Lamar Jackson, Kyron Williams, Saquon Barkley, Stephon Diggs, and Drake London. Notable players that he dropped: Deebo Samuel. So I'll talk about NJC's keepers. Mainly, he's the champion. I lost to him in the championship, but before I jump into his keepers quickly, I just want to say this last season was a hell of a season. It was a good season. It's pretty action packed. Right up until the end, it was a great championship game, and applaud to NJC for winning that. But I think it was a good championship, not only because we're rivalries, but we're two totally different type of team managers. Like me, I draft and I pretty much stick to my players. I don't really make major blockbuster mid-season moves. Most of my team is pretty much formed early in the draft. NJC, you never know what he's going to have by the end of the season. He's more of the mid-season, add the big waiver wire ad, trade, make the big blockbuster trade, and then by the second half of the season, he's rolling with a strong team. And it's two different philosophies. Both have worked, but it was so anyhow, his keepers, I like his keepers. He's looking formidable. I mean, he's got pretty much I'm looking at the wrong thing.
He's got a good run game.
Yeah, he's got
a good run game to start. And I think that's a good place to start with any team.
A little concerned about dropping Deebo to keep Lamar Jackson or Diggs. I think
he had to keep Jackson though.
Yeah, he traded a number 1 and number 2 pick for him. But Diggs over Deebo, that's the only controversy there. I mean, I want to say controversy, but I'm sure that he, went back and forth with himself over that. But in the end, I don't know. I think I keep Diggs too, man. I mean, he's a number 1. I mean, he's getting a lot of the critics are not supporting Diggs, saying that, Tank Dell and Nico Collins, but they brought Diggs over. They paid him. He's been a number 1 receiver his whole career. I think he's going to be the go-to guy, this season. So
I think the other note to mention about NJC is that he's been pretty active on the chat about trying to trade one of his keepers to get back into the draft. He has traded away his 2024 first and second round picks. He doesn't have a draft pick until the 36th pick. And based on most of our professional mocks, not much talent left once you get to the 36th pick. So he's going to have to work pretty hard to surround those keepers with a decent roster.
So
yeah, especially sorry about that, especially the 36th pick in our league. That's definitely the Snickle Fritz by then. And I know from my draft last year, I didn't have a pick from 3 to 6. I think I didn't have 3 rounds, and that sucked. That really hurt. Somebody might do him a favor though.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt him. Because he's not gonna be able to build on top of his keepers unless he just makes some major, sleeper picks in the draft that break out. But what also is gonna be tough is he's not mid-season. He's not gonna really be able to. He doesn't really have a lot of collateral. He's going to have a lot of picks since he doesn't have his second pick. So he's only really working with just his first pick for next season, unless he's going to start trading his 2026 picks to try to make big blockbuster deals to grab another player to add to his team to make another run. But
yeah, that probably depends all on where he's at in the season, but I wouldn't count him out until after the trade deadline. We see what moves we make. For time's sake, we're going to move on to the number 11 pick. Oh, you got something you want to say, Froggy?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that you took it away from me, Nick. I had something to say, and I've lost it.
That was me. I fucked it up.
I was ready to come in there, and you were moving on to the 11th pick. And
I'm sorry, dude. That was it. That's all it took. My bad. I apologize. New Jack City, picks, trade deadline, nothing. Not a spark.
Lost it.
Damn, that was fast. I apologize. I'm sorry, dude. I will. You know what? Yeah, I will check in with you guys from here on out. Quan, this is you. You're the 11th pick. I want to
go ahead. I'm not going to talk about myself. You guys could do it.
No. I think you should, because I want to know. Well, there's no real logic, and I just want to tell this real quick anecdote. I have a buddy I work with. He's interested in a dynasty league or a keeper league, and we were just talking fantasy football. And I showed him your keepers, and he was like, "Damn, that's pretty beastly." I mean, look. Not only do you have 2 top 10 wide receivers, but those 2 wide receivers are top 10 players on a couple of lists I've seen. Yeah, Froggy.
Now I'm just fucking up the flow here because.
Are you really? What's going on, dude?
It finally came back to me. There's a lot going on here, man. I ripped my toe off in Mexico. LJ's over one shoulder. Alexis is cooking and doing dishes. I'm gonna definitely move my podcast out to the man cave next week. But I wanted to say, to NJC's credit, he went all in, right? He might have a shit roster now, and he may be on a dry streak for the next 5 years. He did come into San Diego talking about how he had lost the fire and lost the motivation. Like, I could see why Jamon's not here. It's not as fun as it used to be. Then he goes all in. He wins a championship, and he's been excited all season, all off season. He bought the new rings, and he has 2 chips. So it was worth it. I think it was worth it to NJC to go all in, to get that second chip, to beat one of his rivals, Lou, to join the multi-championship crew. And now he has to live with the consequences.
We'll see, man. I didn't count him out, man. I did not count him out. So we'll see.
It's worth it.
I don't think his team looks like shit. I think he has a pretty good team to start off with, but we'll see.
Well, when you got good running backs, a good running game, that's definitely a great place to start. Yeah. He's got some dudes. Saquon's in an interesting situation, and I think he'll definitely eat. He'll eat. We'll see if he eats as much as he did in New York. Is that okay? Can we go to number 11 now? I apologize, guys. Quan, getting back to you. You got a lot of talent there. Top 10 players, a couple top 10 players, a couple of top 20 running backs, actually a few. Yeah, man. It seems like you had a pretty easy choice there. I mean, you had to let go of your pony, your love brony, your jabroni pony.
Killer Tribe. This was first, so I'm keeping Zay Flowers, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown's my wide receivers, and Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, so this was a tough decision in terms of keepers. I was basically battling over keeping Joe Mixon or Travis Kelce, and Kelce has been my guy for years. And I mean, it's true that sometimes we start to actually feel like these players have some identity on your team. It was tough, but
is it just an act, Lou? Because I'm pretty sure I saw you praising the sun god in Mexico last week.
The sun god? Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, tell us that story.
there's a which one was this? I don't even know what I'm talking about.
You were struggling on a pool water aerobics session one morning while looking out at the ocean, and I told you to channel your inner sun god, and then it brought you peace, and you found balance on the water flow.
Please. Anyhow,
you took a water aerobics class on vacation.
I have a person.
Wait. Stop for a second. You took a water aerobics class on vacation?
I did not take a water aerobics class.
Oh, you were watching one.
Water stretching.
Water stretching class. So,
all right, for sure.
Yeah, stretched out in the water. First
Understandable.
Of all, Lennon actually took the class as well. Lennon, it's funny. Lennon, what I didn't realize, he's really good at a lot of the like off game type of he's good at ping pong. Like Lennon is
bucket ball.
He's good at like
fraternity games.
Yes, fraternity.
Weren't you guys in a fraternity?
Lennon is like
I was the MVP of the
resort. All of that. He is like a vacation resort all-American.
Oh, no doubt.
all the daily activities. It got so bad that like when Lennon would walk out onto the resort, all the people would be high-fiving him. Like, what challenge, what activity is he going to win today?
Damn, dude, you really do seem like you're in love.
Whatever.
It's true though. It's true, and I'm happy Lou brought it up because I don't know what it is.
He was the only one there to witness it, man. But I have played ping pong.
What in the hell?
I have played ping pong against you at the fucking draft house last year, and I could see it because like I've also played shuffleboard against you, and that's another one of those resort ass games, aka white people games too. Because and also by the way, Lou, give yourself some credit. Well, because you weren't playing those games, because weren't you like actually playing a real game like basketball and a scholarship when other people were playing these? Okay, so that's fun.
Exactly.
But I remember I saw the look in his eyes when he set up at that ping pong table, and I knew he was in trouble. Like, dude, this guy fucking plays. Plus, he gets serious about a lot of shit too. Like, he takes a lot of shit seriously. So he's coming to win.
Well, it paid off, man, because there was like this couple from Alabama there that did not respect my ping pong game, and I obliterated the husband, and he was not happy to lose to a black man in ping pong. He left the table very angrily, and then I won the championship against this little 11-year-old Asian kid, and I could tell half the crowd was like, take it easy on the 11-year-old, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm creating an Olympic champion today. He's gonna remember me.
Dude, this is like two different types of documentaries together. I see one where it's like you're the hero for BIPOC because you took down and you could win that, and then there's you as the mentor for this little Asian kid winning a gold medal, like finally being the American Asian kid that wins it.
It was the most dramatic resort ping pong tournament of all time, because in between those two matches, I don't know, I went to get a drink or something, and I absolutely destroyed my toe. I'm going to the emergency room tomorrow to see how bad it is.
Shit.
But ripped the toenail off, blood everywhere. But then I came back with the wrapped toe to defeat the 11-year-old. The only problem was that it took so long to fix my injury that the crowd had dispersed.
You were feeding off that energy. I know you were.
It was only families of the people involved.
Christ. All right. Goddamn. We digressed right there. Getting back to your keepers, you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds. That's it.
Yeah, this is a good group of keepers, the best that I've ever had, really. So I really hope that it works out. But I got lucky, and I hit on my rookie contracts, man. That's really all it is about. And that rarely happens. And they were late round picks too. So there's really just luck involved.
How well did you hit on that Tank Bigsby contract?
Did not hit. Did not hit.
You know what? I gotta be honest, dude. With a name like Tank Bigsby, I think you're taking a risk.
Dude, I will tell you this. I honestly almost put him on. I was so confident in him. I almost put him on the 3-year contract and put A-Chain on the 2. But Tank Bigsby was projected to be like basically like the every down back that ATN isn't. And then, you know, he was gonna either split carries and then eventually take over the goal line stuff. And you can kind of, and in the preseason, when I watched him all preseason, he was killing. Then the season starts and he just fumbles his way. I'm not going to be surprised if he's out of the league and pretty soon. But I mean, the same thing happened to me with Trey Sermon. I mean, it just, you gotta gamble sometimes on these rookies. If you hit, it really pays off. But
who has a bigger season, A-Chain or Flowers? I'm hearing a lot. So you are bringing back A-Chain on his contract. Rudy's bringing back Mostert as a keeper, and we're out at the Dodger game last night with Nakia, and he's hyping up the new rookie in Miami. So there's a lot of running backs in that backfield in Miami. Who has a bigger year, A-Chain or Flowers?
Dude, I'm glad you brought that up because that's part of the reason I kept Joe Mixon. I mean, A-Chain has a super high ceiling. You know, he's I was listening to a podcast the other day. The dude was saying, if you're a coward, a fantasy football coward, you don't draft A-Chain. If you're a guy that rolls the dice and goes all in, you know, in hopes of that, you know, slim chance of winning it big, then you're a person who drafts A-Chain. And dude, I basically was like, I got to have insurance just in case this guy isn't who everybody thinks he's going to be. So, you know, really, even if he is or he isn't, doesn't really pan out, I'm going to be playing him in my flex anyway. And, you know, and I have Flowers too in my flex. So I'll be switching them out. But who has the biggest year, if you're going to ask me that now, the answer is A-Chain. I would say for sure. A-Chain is going to have the bigger year than Flowers.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, A-Chain is the real deal. And like, I mean, you could say this about anybody, but the only thing that's really preventing him from being league winner is, of course, health. But it sounds like you got the party going on over there. All right, moving on. Oh shit, what is that? Is that some rum?
Soy Rico. I'll bring it to tequila. I'll bring it to San Diego this weekend. We can all kill this bottle.
Jesus. Oh yeah.
Fresh
from
Mexico.
Joey.
The curse.
Keeping Keenan Allen, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Josh Allen, Jamar Chase. Notable drops. I believe he dropped Pollard.
Is that notable?
Yeah, I think he kept all the right players. Yeah, so Joey's team, man. Joey had a tough offseason, man. Jacobs gets traded to Green Bay. Keenan Allen is now in a crowded wide receiver room with a rookie quarterback. Josh Allen had his new offensive coordinator is now run heavy, and Jamar Chase is holding out. So all of his keepers. Oh, and Kenneth
Walker,
he
lost his number one. Josh Allen lost his number one receiver.
And lost his number one receiver. Kenneth Walker is projected to do pretty good, but all of his keepers have question marks, and that's something new for somebody like Joey, who always pretty much has some solid players, a solid start. But the good thing for him, I think he's got a bunch of picks to build on his squad, and also Joey's not afraid during the season to make those big blockbuster moves to change the face of his team. So
yeah,
he doesn't have a lot.
Go ahead, brother.
You got it. You're on the same wavelength as me.
Maybe. I was actually gonna say he doesn't have a first round pick. That one went to you, Froggy, if I'm right about that. And
Hemp
he doesn't
has his first, and you have his third.
I have his third. He does have a couple of fourth rounders, and I think you were gonna say he has a lot of rookie contracts. Is that what you're gonna say? Because he has like 5.
No, I was gonna do the exact same thing as you. He's missing his own first and third, but I think you mentioned on the thread he has maybe 6 other picks dispersed throughout the draft. So he'll always find a way to pull through. The curse, it's election season. He's always busy this time of the year with union responsibilities. So I do not think the curse will be in San Diego, which is always a blessing for the rest of the league when he can't work his magic in person. So
it is.
He drafts much better in person.
He does, and it is for us, but also it's great to have everybody come out, obviously. But yeah, we're lucky we dodged a bullet there. Hopefully he'll be caught up in the elections and in his work.
Based on
100%.
RSVPs, we have 11 out of 12 teams in attendance, which will be the highest attendance rate
Shit.
damn near ever.
Really? There
Only-
was one where we hit another one, like one at Lose, right?
My house was at 2021. It was 12 out of 12.
12 out of 12. Nice.
Yeah.
Everybody
11 out of 12 have RSVP'd, including, we haven't seen Jaman, I feel like, in a decade, and he will be there.
I don't think Jaman has been there since my house. Jaman and Jimmy, he's not in the league anymore. But yeah, so Jaman hasn't been to a draft in like 3 years. But
oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
So
yeah, Rudy,
Nico Collins, Rudy, the most controversial keeper announcement in my time in AGS history.
No doubt.
Nico Collins, Brandon Ayuk, Raheem Mostert, and Sam Laporta. So notable drop is a player that he did not keep. I think it was who was it? It was a running back. Oh, Jerome Ford. So
notable because Nick Chubb's gonna be out.
Yeah, so Nick Chubb's going to be out. We don't know when Nick Chubb's returning. Nick Chubb definitely won't be playing the first few games of the season, and Jerome Ford. And the Cleveland Browns have one of the best offensive lines in the game. So was that the best drop? I think Rudy is banking on Raheem Mostert having a similar season as last year. But remember, I traded him Raheem Mostert, so he had. So I'm a little biased. I always believe that at the time, like Mostert had never played a full season before last season that I could remember, and I was like, this dude is going to be out, at least in a few weeks. So
the Mostert trade, I think, is what finally rid Lou of his Lemon nickname. We don't really call him Lemon Lou anymore. He gave
that was
Rudy
it.
a great player. Rudy also has traded away his first round pick, his second round pick, his fifth round pick. I think we'll be at the seventh inning stretch at Petco Park by the time Rudy's done drafting.
Fuck, no first or second. Yeah, I actually have that written down here too. That's brutal. Damn.
With Ayuk, so you got Mostert, who is a little, he's a little injury prone. Nico Collins, who is he's got a crowded wide receiver room. Sam Laporta is a great tight end, pretty much the number one overall tight end. And then Brandon Ayuk, who's holding out. That's a tough group of keepers, and with pretty much no picks, man. That is Rudy's another uphill battle in the draft for Rudy, but he's used to it.
Hey, it worked for him last year.
Yeah, it was the same thing last year. He's not foreign to it. I almost feel like this is a comfort zone for Rudy. Like, this is how he likes to operate. When is the last time he's had a first round pick? I can't remember him ever picking in the first round since I've been in the league.
Facts. He does like to take big swings too.
You mentioned Sam Laporta. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the controversy. I think everyone in the league wants the full explanation of what happened with that keeper pick. Try to keep it as short and sweet. Feel free to ask me any questions. Let's see. He announced keepers, and there was a controversy because he had told me the day of keeper announcements that he had Sam Laporta on a 2-year rookie contract. I couldn't remember, so I checked the records. I couldn't find a text message. I couldn't see it on the site. So I asked him to provide proof, and he said, I told you at the draft. That's why I don't have record of it. It's because he said he verbally told me. So based on that, I went down the rabbit hole, man. I literally checked every email, text, anything related to the league that I could find. And I actually went to the podcast and listened to about 6 episodes of the first 6 podcasts. And one common theme. Oh, and I interviewed league members. So I heard things from Quan. I heard things from Curse. I heard things that Rudy said on the podcast, and everything pointed to him truly believing in his mind as early as week 2 or 3
when he broke out.
That he put this guy on a contract. Now, it's on me if I didn't record it. It's on Emmett, and a rule change that's going to affect moving forward that you have to, no matter what, whether it's draft, after the draft, you have to send us some kind of proof so we have it. But it is enacting a change where both Quan and Sugandees have volunteered to help out on draft day with keeping track of any kind of trades or rookie contracts or any important notes, because the one thing I couldn't find, which I always have, are my notes from the draft. I think they're buried in one of these closets here, and I just haven't had a chance to clear it all out to find it. So I couldn't find my actual notepad, which if Rudy told me, it would be written on that notepad.
Damn. You know what, man? I just got done binge watching Better Call Saul, and shame on me for waiting this long to do that. And I must say, this was some Saul Goodman shit right here. Like, you really pulled it together right here for that. So, and I think the rule is essential. I'm surprised it wasn't already a rule that it had to be in writing. Yeah. I talked to him directly. He asked me about it, and I said, I'm sorry, man. I think it has to be in writing because, fuck, we said a lot of shit, but the fact that it was on tape, that's the Saul Goodman shit I'm talking about right there. That's where you reached in and dug in and did the research, and you're like, I think I found it, because he really did believe it. And
without that tape, I wouldn't have honored it. I was leaning the complete opposite way because I didn't have any proof. I had Curse saying, yes, he told me that he had it on my contract. I had Quan saying he told me, but I don't think anyone knew exactly what week he said it. I would say that he sounded very sincere when I talked to him about it. And a lot of, like Lewis said and Sinkea said, that could be, revisionist history that he thought he did it. But you know what, man? There's only one person in our league, two people, Pimps and Sergeant MK, that fought for our country. Emmett attended a draft while getting bombed in Afghanistan. So if I'm going to throw a bone to anybody, it's going to be one of those guys. And I don't think it changes things tremendously in the league. It was a difference of Nico Collins being available to the league or being on Rudy's roster. So, my apologies to the league if I didn't fulfill my commitment as commissioner to the fullest this offseason. We'll try not to make that mistake again.
I think without the rule in place, and without the rule in place, with evidence of him throughout the season saying he had him under contract. He did tell me that he had him under contract at one point, but it was I remember, I don't know when, but I asked him after Laporta broke out. And I was like, dude, did you put him under contract? And he was like, yeah, so I do remember that, but without the actual rule being in place, and I can see why you had to honor that. And it's not that big a difference with Nico Collins. I don't know how many owners were really eyeing Nico Collins like that. I mean, he is a potential, top 20 wide receiver for sure. But
yeah, he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah. I'm not gonna,
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let's hit the next pick. So good luck, Rudy's replacements. Maybe he'll find the same kind of magic he did last year, this year. Ruth. Yeah.
Rudy, I'm sorry. Nick, you said you were going to check with us before we move on.
I thought, nah, bullshit. You guys talked for, a minute, so I thought that was it.
All I want to say is if
you're moving through the speakers pretty slowly. You're right. We should speed it up.
Yeah. No, you know what? I see what the strategy is. You guys are like, don't let this guy bring up the salacious thread topic that needs to be brought up. You're like, let's keep this keeper thing going, but it's gonna happen one way or another, man. Whether it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All I was saying was that I found there was a piece of the podcast that I found. If you want to edit that in, I could share it with you. But that's the piece that kind of was the game changer for me. If you want to put it into this podcast for everyone to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, send it over. Just give me like the episode and like the time stamp for it, and I'll find that shit. All right, moving on. T. Ruth, the counselor, aka Papa.
Jalen Waddle, AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry. The counselors coming in with no players under contract, first time in a long time. I'll say, when I first got into the league and I was learning how to play in AGS, Jamal was pretty dominant in the league at that time. So I was kind of watching like how he manages his team. And he all at one point, I mean, he had all his contracts fulfilled plus his keepers at one point, and all the rookies under his contracts were all formidable players.
All in. Yeah, they were great.
So to see now his team turn into this is pretty interesting. So
yeah, I want to say he's had at one point close to the record number of keepers, and this year he's coming in tied for the lowest number, tied with Oops Babies with only 3 returning players.
Wow.
Sometimes it's better to have. I think a couple of years ago I came in with 2, and I played Cinque in the semifinal. Sometimes it's good. It causes you to approach the strategy differently. For a guy that never shows up to the draft, he always puts up some good teams.
Well, he may not be there, but he has some people there with his rooting interests.
Oh shit!
So even though he's only keeping 3 players, man, this is a good 3 play. I mean, Jalen Waddle, AJ Brown, Derrick Henry. That's all those players. They're all good, all projected to ball out. There's no ambiguity with those players. And none of them are holding out. I think Derrick Henry's gonna be, he's a gift, the VU gift that keeps on giving. and I think he's gonna like have a resurgence in his career and ball out in Baltimore. So
I agree with you. I think he's gonna have at least this year, I think he's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's just gonna be interesting to see what Jamon does in the draft, how he's able to add to this stacked group he has. And is he going to make? Is he going to? What type of strategy is he going to? Be? Is he trying to win this year? So he's just picking all good players, or is he going to try to build on the future of the team, picking some rookies? Will he do both? We'll see. I mean, I think he has all his picks too, right?
He does have all his picks, and he
has no third, right? He has no third round.
Oh, you're right. Traded to Curse. Everyone gave something to Curse. But I do want to point out, and I should have pulled this up earlier, but notable cuts. Longtime T. Ruth wide receiver Mike Evans. Running back Alvin Kamara. Tight end George Kittle. Brock Purdy, for what it's worth. Quarterback Jackson Smith-Njigba. Some notable drops from T. Ruth this year.
Those are a lot. All those players are good drops. I mean, are good
Mike
players.
Evans. Yeah, Mike Evans, man. I remember he drafted him the first year I was in the league, and I was hoping to pick him up, and I ended up with Carlos Hyde.
Didn't T. Ruth he dropped Mike Evans last year and then picked him back up again, right? So I think that we could probably see that again at where he's picking. Mike Evans could certainly fall to him at that spot at the 8th pick. So
that is number 8.
Yeah.
Number 8. All right, let's scoot along here. Number 7, Penthouse Pimps.
Jalen Hurts, T. Higgins, Isaiah Pacheco, and Breece Hall.
Solid.
Yeah. Notable drops. Nick Chubb.
Have to. He's got no legs.
Yeah.
That's kind of a problem when your knees aren't good and your whole job is to use your knees.
I'd also throw in 2 technically number 1 receivers in Rashee Rice and Calvin Ridley.
Ooh.
What do you think about Calvin Ridley? He's in Carolina. No, Tennessee, right?
He's in Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, I know you don't want to show your hand too much, but I mean, I could kind of see why he did that, right? Given the choices.
What I'm thinking, T. Higgins, who's basically the number 2, to drop Calvin Ridley and Rashid Rice over that I'm sure he had to battle with himself over that one.
Rashid Rice is getting suspended, right?
Not this
No?
year.
No.
It doesn't look like the suspension is going to happen this year. It looks like they're gonna wait for the criminal case to be over with, and then they'll give them the suspicion. So it'll probably be next year.
Okay.
Calvin Ridley. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much about these players and start. The point is, Calvin Ridley I think he's pretty much the number one in Tennessee, but Will Levis is questionable. And Will Levis is a former Quan for maybe 2 weeks.
You loved him so much.
I was so confident about Big Willie style, and I never want that motherfucker to be anywhere near my team again.
Speaking of Tennessee, Netflix just dropped the untold story of the murder of Steve McNair. I just watched it today.
How was it?
Well, I'm a big true crime buff, so I don't think I learned anything new. But just a sad story, man. I mean, Steve McNair was such a baller, man. And it was cool to see that, especially that 99 season when they went up against the greatest show on turf, man. So it was good trip down memory lane.
That was a great Super Bowl.
Reminded me of some early, maybe even before our time, fantasy times with it's something we always talk about, like Eddie George, right? Eddie George, and if you had any of those Rams players. So yeah, it was sad, but also cool to see some of that old footage.
Yeah. I can go in all day on that one because towards the end they start to come up with the conspiracy theories about the police investigation and the possibility of there being some type of because it was a murder-suicide and then possibility of someone else actually murdered them both, which I believe was all bullshit from my experience with homicide investigations.
The one thing that was new that I hadn't seen those phone records with the guy who had the gun and the side piece. I hadn't seen those phone records before, so they kind of threw that in and then didn't really give us any more details about it.
There just wasn't nothing else to it, man. They were really reaching, and I think it was exactly what they painted it to be. The dude who was trying to muddy up that investigation was basically figuring out a way. This is a great story for me to make money off myself, and he wrote a book and all of that. It's just ridiculous, That was
what's the title of that documentary?
It was the untold, the Steve McNair murder, I believe.
Shout out to the untold story of the Steve McNair murder. That was a true tragedy. That was his side piece that murder-suicided him, right?
Yeah.
Side piece of 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
20-year-old waitress from Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't go to Dave & Buster's, man.
He had one of his little henchmen rent an apartment that he regularly used to spend time with his mistresses.
And the funniest part, she wasn't mad about his wife. She was mad that he was cheating on her with other side pieces.
Well, and that's understandable too, because you're like, I'm the only one, right? What? I'll say this much, man. Nothing good happens at Dave & Buster's. This one out here in Ontario at the Mills, man, they were running like a prostitution ring out of it. And I think like some San Bernardino County sheriffs or Riverside County sheriff, maybe even Ontario PD, I'd have to check in with Hook, but they were running some shit out of there. Dave & Buster's is a dirty spot, man. Dirty spot. Great arcade games, though.
Yeah.
Bring the kids.
Moving on, just real quick.
Thank you. Moving
Pimps, dude, every year it seems like he gets bit by the injury bug, man. The last few years, he's had such bad luck he's had some pretty good teams, and by the mid-season, they just all start going down, man. But I mean, Nick Chubb was killing last year, and he probably was the best running back to have a season-ending injury last year. So hopefully, better luck for Pimps. Does he have all his picks?
Yeah, I believe he does actually.
Got all his picks.
Well,
So
and he's got an extra one too because I traded him my 6th-round pick a couple years ago. I hate when you do that 2-year in advance trade and then it comes back to bite you. Like, oh my god, what was I thinking?
He also has 2 first-round picks. He has the Curses first-round pick.
So, hey, this is going to be a good year for Pimps, man, because he's got, I mean, Pacheco and Breece Hall are nice combination of running backs.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of really good receivers in the draft this year. So he can add on to his receiving core with all that picks. He's going to have, I mean, dude, Pimps could be I wouldn't even say a dark horse, dude. Pimps is, after the draft, we're going to look at Pimps' team as like one of the best teams in the league for sure.
And shout out Pimps coming on Friday. No drama like the Slurps. Bringing his boy Derek into town to hang out with us. So looking forward to a good weekend with the OGs.
All right. Move forward.
Yeah, wait. No, wait. You checking with me now. You make sure that I'm done.
Nick, you ready?
I just want to give a couple of shout outs there to the OGs. Always reliable. OGs are always reliable. And now like Frog, I forgot because I'm a little faded. Some about the Pimps. Fuck it. He's kind of like the LA Chargers of AGS because he's always bringing talented teams. And like you said, just it turns unfortunate. Had Nick Chubb not been hurt 3 out of the last 5 seasons or whatever, he could definitely contend because he had a great running game. All right, moving on. Number 6, if I believe.
All right. Ooh, once again, keeping Kyle Pitts for the 4th year of his 4-year contract.
This is the year.
But this one is a year. He's got Travis Etienne, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Patrick Mahomes. Notable drops: Garrett Wilson. Ooh, that's a tough one. That
one's not making it back, Voodoo. I'm just letting you know.
Fuck no, that's not
one way or another.
Dude, that Garrett Wilson, I would almost say like if Oops passed on Marvin Harrison, which he won't, but if he did and picked up Garrett Wilson, I would be like,
spoiler alert.
Yeah. Dude, that is Garrett Wilson, 100%.
How does Lewis know that Oops is taking Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Because he told me. Same way we all knew that you were taking Bijan.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I told the whole league I was taking Bijan, not just my cousin.
Yeah.
That's also a very good point. That's also a really good point. Holy shit.
I think
Lou came in like matter of fact. Well, if Oops wasn't taking Marvin Harrison Jr., which I already know.
I think every year,
which I advised him.
Every year, we pretty much know who the number 1 pick is going to be. Except actually,
this year you really know.
Yeah.
Nah, there have been a couple of years we got surprises. There was like a Todd Gurley McCaffrey year, somewhere around there. Anyways, yeah. Mahomes, Etienne, Gibbs, Pitts.
I throw in other notable drops: Jordan Addison potentially, Mark Andrews, James Conner.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, I mean, it's tough to keep it at tight end. You really got to make the playoffs to start and then maybe finish top 3 to really think about keeping a tight end unless it's Travis Kelce. I mean, Mark Andrews is pretty busted too. He gets hurt every season. The Nick Chubb of tight ends.
Let me ask you, Nick, with all this secret info that the Quan is putting out there, is this episode being released before the draft?
Yeah, absolutely. I plan on.
I don't know, man. I feel like we're giving some hints out here to people of the right things to do.
I think you should hold it till after the draft. If I know
fucking no.
I think it should be released the night of the draft.
I told you,
record it, cut it, ready to go.
This
is too much intel.
I told you, Quan, we talked specifically about not releasing too much information. That's fine. But this one's going on. It's a pre-draft special, man. This is the pre-draft special.
Oh, well, I'd take Marvin Harrison Jr. or Garrett. Come on, man. We can't tell people what to do here.
I guess, but I also want to say
you can edit that line out.
maybe I could,
can
but
and
this
all that.
conversation here is kind of spicy right now. So that's is like 5 minutes of conversation I'm not taking out.
That is true.
I'll say this, like for whatever quote unquote secrets we're revealing, if you think that shit's a secret, then you're probably doing what I did last year, which is not paying attention to anything and just rolling in the draft thinking you got it on lock. There aren't too many secrets here, right?
I
I
just
honestly
don't.
felt like Garrett Wilson to me is
Enough
not.
about that. Let's move on.
All right.
Jesus Christ, man.
I just don't. I hate to. I'd love to come into the draft fresh. There's always going to be whispers of the draft, but now you got people listening to the podcast and they're like, "Oh, maybe I should adjust my mock draft a little bit."
Maybe not, but you know, Friday night will clear everyone's minds, right? Everyone's minds. All right. Is that enough said about Voodoo? You know, you never know what he's gonna do. He'll change his draft based on what people talk about on Saturday. So what does it matter what we say here? People got loose lips all the time.
And Voodoo will guarantee the championship last year.
I'm curious. I don't know. When was the last time he made the playoffs? It's been at least 2 seasons, right?
He hasn't made the playoffs since he's won the championship, I believe.
That's
and Wendy win it in like 2020.
2019, 2020. I'm looking at the list right now. Here we go. 20. He's probably screaming it right now. You fucking idiot. 2019. He's got the belt. He's like
right.
Yelling. Yeah, 2019 champ. That was the year. That was the stretch that all the bros got it. You know, T. Ruth, Voodoo, New Jack City. You know,
shout out Rat Pack.
Hey, good for the. I mean, you know, that's all good, man. It's all good, man. All right, next pick, number 5, Rebel Scum. You know what? Not many options for me, so that's what I did right there. I did think about maybe keeping Amari Cooper.
Can I read your picks so we know who you are?
Oh yeah, my bad.
Right
into it, man. I'm getting excited.
Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Chris Olave, Javonte Williams. Notable drops. I think you already said it. Who was it?
Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott.
Come on, that's not that notable. I thought about keeping Amari Cooper. I don't know why, just because receivers, but there's the running backs are snickle fritz, man. So, and I really think that a strong foundation for a team is a good running game. When I've been the most successful, the 3 times I've made it into the upper echelons of the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, it's because I had good running backs. So these guys aren't great either, but you never know, and it's better to start with nothing than to start with nothing because there isn't anything out there. I mean, the running backs are not. I don't know. That's how I feel about that. But we'll see, man. George Pickens, he's got a lot of talent, but his quarterbacks kind of stink. Although I traded him for Tony Pollard and a 3rd-round pick, so that's I don't know. That'll work out for me, and we'll see, man. I think Cooper Kupp's going to bounce back strong. I think he's going to have a good season. He and Matthew Stafford have this telekinetic connection. Eckler, I think, has some juice left, and Jade Daniels is going to be looking for that little safety valve to do some little check downs. Olave, it's unfortunate, man. Derek Carr, that's unfortunate, but
they just don't like each other. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, they're not vibing.
Give us some insight on, you got the whole Brandon Ayuk, either he's staying with San Francisco or he's moving to Pittsburgh. You mentioned on the chat that you would look at it as a good thing for him to come to Pittsburgh for George Pickens. Can you give us a little insight onto your thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be positive. Obviously, he's going to take targets, but I think that would also draw some focus away for Pickens to make some bigger plays. That's all I was thinking. That's it. That's all, because that's really all there is. What else is there? Nothing.
I think Ayuk at this point, gosh, I don't know. What do you guys think? Niners, Steelers, somebody else?
Yeah, nah, he's playing with the Niners. And I think, the windows for success in football close really quickly. And I don't know how much longer the Niners have this year, next year, but it's going to be a rough one. I think it's going to be a rough one for you guys. I think you'll win. You'll be good, but he's going to cause some tension probably. That's not
I
wishful
think,
thinking. I'm just being objective.
dude, off-season holdouts are never good. I'm not liking the CD Lamb holdout right now. It's killing me. But he hasn't even been to training camp, man. So
We
yeah.
didn't really address that when we talked about your team, but that's okay. But on a fan level, if I was a 49ers fan, I'd be like, fuck, man, this is not how I want to go into a season with this kind of shit going on.
Yeah.
Not in a game like
Holding out.
football.
You got the left tackle, potentially one of the best linemen of all time, holding out too. Not a good look.
No, competitive division. Rams are going to be good. Yeah, not a good look. All right. That brings us to the Frogs. Kamish.
Speaking of the Rams, I am keeping Puka Nacua, tight end Jake Ferguson, my rookie first-round pick from last year, Bijan Robinson, and Rashad White. In my opinion, I have no notable drops, but you guys go for it if you think anybody on that list is notable.
No,
you made the right choices.
Yeah, you didn't really have much to work with there.
I will point out that outside of Bijan, who was on a rookie contract, I'm not bringing back anybody that I drafted. Both of my keepers are free agent signings.
Yeah.
How you feeling about those keepers? How you feeling about Puka?
I'm a big Puka fan, man. I like Puka. My son likes him. He's got the jersey. We met him at training camp. I'm a big fan of Puka. I think Cooper Kupp definitely cuts into some of his stats this season. He's a healthy Cooper Kupp on your squad. But I like the foundation that I have, and I'm trying to build up. I think I can get a decent player at 4. I have another pick at 12. I think I have 3 picks in the top 16, so hopefully I can draft a little bit better this year.
That's as bad as giving additional picks to Joey, to be honest with you. Like, who's trading all these picks? It's great. Lucky you. Yeah, you'll definitely get a good pick at 4. Definitely get a good pick at 4. Something to go nicely there. Quan, any further? Do you want to any comments? Any Papa comments?
What? No, I mean,
it's coming.
Looking pretty washed up, you know.
Dang, okay. I like that, man. Washed up.
It's funny how much Quan talks with one championship. One measly championship.
Way down there at the 4th pick with great keepers like Ferguson.
Bijan is a great keeper. He's got a good running back and a good receiver. The fucking all-time record yardage.
My washed up team was good enough to wipe the floor with Quan last year, and I'll probably do the same again this year.
You know what? Funny about that is I remember when I was like down there in the bottom 4 and stuff, and I used to actually like relish in those victories of the top teams too sometimes. And in years I didn't make the playoffs, so I know how you feel saying that, Lyndon, but to us, way up there at the top, it's really doesn't matter.
Goodness gracious, the fantasy gods.
I know what does matter is 4 championships to 1, and I don't understand why he calls himself a GOAT with 1 championship. He's a false idol.
He's been there. He's been to the dance.
He has as many championships as the accidental champion Booth, and he blew his shot at going back to back. It's only 1 team who's done it, and it's not the Quan.
Hey, you had gone 3 times though, right? You went the year before too, right?
Who, me?
But yeah, with the year you won it, you went the year before that, didn't you?
That was my 3rd championship. It was the year before that. It was like I think a couple years.
All right, word.
He's got trouble sealing the deal at the end.
But I was in the semifinals the year before that. I've
nice. Well done. Not quite GOAT status though.
He's the GOAT of runner-ups.
So the
runner goat.
The Buffalo Bills.
Oh my God.
The GOAT
Jim Kelly.
Such
the Buffalo Goats.
Staple is I just can't let it go. So
enough.
Yeah.
We got a couple more teams here to go.
All right.
Sugandis, number 3.
Ramondre
Stevenson. Yeah, you got him.
Najee Harris, DJ Moore, and Justin Jefferson. So
yeah, great receivers.
Yeah, I think. I mean, Jefferson is he has the quarterback issues. DJ Moore, I mean, is a rookie quarterback, and a crowded receiver room. Stevenson, how many points are the Patriots really going to score? And Najee Harris, same deal. So it's going to be interesting. Does he have any notable drops?
I dropped two Packers receivers, Dobbs and Jaden Reed, and he also dropped Trevor Lawrence. Quan's breakout quarterback candidate last year.
Yeah, I couldn't be more wrong about that.
Everyone was wrong about that. It's okay, Quan.
But so those were the best players for him to keep. But he has all his picks, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
no, he's got no fourth. I said yes, but he's got no fourth round pick, I think.
Also traded to the curse.
Also traded to the curse. Yeah.
It is to see how he builds upon that. It's a tough start. But they're good. Yeah.
He's gonna have a good pick. He's gonna get a good rookie or a good vet.
He's got, to have two running backs, two wide receivers already locked in as keepers, and he can build upon that. He's actually got a pretty good team to start with.
Yeah, man. Let's take it. Are you guys good on that one? Can we move on?
Yep.
Good and press for time here. We're about to push an hour, and we got two of the more interesting teams coming up here. Yeah. We've got the Chicken Wings, who's coming in second. With the double fisting on the quarterback keepers. Interesting flex here by Joe Owumi about who's coming in second. Thoughts?
Can I read his players?
Man, yeah, I'm sorry. I fucked
Tyler Algier. He kept Tyler Algier, a backup running back.
Interesting choice.
CJ Stroud, Tyreek Hill, of course, who I believe is the number one receiver in the league. Dalton Kincaid, good, and Anthony Richardson. Joey, who did he drop? Man, he dropped some good players. He dropped DK Metcalf. James Cook.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, you can't keep three. That's insane.
I know. But
Swift over Algier over Swift?
Yeah. Oh, no, he's under contract, Algier.
So. Okay, got you.
So basically, he kept the second quarterback, dropped two pretty good receivers, and he dropped some notable players. Let's just say that. Don't want to get into players again. But I think of all the teams that all the keepers announced, I looked at Joy's, and his was the most, in my opinion, the most questionable. And I've talked to Joey. I've asked him, why did you keep? Because when you keep a player under contract, they pretty much you have to keep him on your roster the whole year. Tyler Algier was more than likely to go undrafted. What? Why would you keep him?
He could have picked that dude up late in the game if he wanted to.
He could have picked him
up. That is a great question.
After the draft.
Absolutely. Waivers after the draft.
Yeah.
Two notes about Joe's team. One is that Lou mentioned Tyreek Hill, best receiver in the league. He has to be hungry because I think he's still averaging 2 kids a year, going on maybe 5 years in a row now. So he's got a lot of mouths to feed. We talked about that.
Oh my God.
A lot of motivation to perform and to potentially get another contract. He's the modern day Antonio Cromartie. Also, Joe apparently has been telling everyone his draft plan, and there are some people who know what Joey plans to do, not in the first round only, in the second round. I think people know his draft plan up to round 5, which I think is insane that you would give out that much intel about your own team.
That is insane, but the way we draft in this league, that plan could go sideways after the first round, but he's still bad enough to affect his first round pick. And I guess you can announce that, but second round.
He's got the second pick, so yeah, there's only one person who could mess that up. But anything after the first round, I wouldn't divulge that information.
Yeah, it's true. It's unheard of, but Owumi does unheard of things, and I think he likes pain. Finally, getting down to the cousin. Oops, baby. The new guy. I'm excited that he's making out to the draft for the first time. He's
excited, man.
Yeah, he should be excited. I think it's a great.
Yeah, he's excited too, man. He came through in the clutch, saved our season. So he's keeping Tajay Spears, Devontae Adams, and Christian McCaffrey. And he has
basically keeping the exact same keepers from last year plus the new rookie.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody screaming out exclamations when he fucking takes, I don't know, Drake May first pick. Quan, don't do it. Don't say anything. I don't even want a sideways look. Sit on your hands. No signals. Nothing.
Well, Quan's already made it known on this podcast that he's been instrumental. In,
that's a fact. He did say that.
The number one pick here.
I forgot about that.
He's not going to let him take Bryce Young again.
So
notable cuts.
I wasn't the only one. It's funny you guys are pinpointing on me, probably because he is my cousin. But
also the fourth round pick
got up as well and was saying, "Nah, we can't let that happen." I think a lot of owners in the league all said that, but they only remember me.
I don't know about a lot of owners in the league.
What,
I mean,
Bryce Young.
So Nick, you were okay taking Bryce Young first round pick.
Yes.
And mind you, at this point, he's not like an owner in the league. He's like someone.
No, for the good of the league, we weren't going to let that happen. I think Sugan Dees was the one that really wanted it to happen, but
no, I was there too. I don't understand the good of the league thing, but for the good of our audience, I don't want to break down another 15 minutes of why it was bad to let this guy make the worst first round number one pick in league history. That's fine. That's okay. We can talk about his keepers. He does have CMC, who is a beast. I know he's coming in injured. Another sour note for the 49ers, but he's CMC. He's good. And Devontae Adams, he's got Uncle Rico out there throwing touchdown passes to him. But
well, I want to bring up the fact that he cut Deontay Johnson, right? This guy paid a fourth round pick to his cousin Lewis.
Ooh, a fourth round pick.
For Deontay Johnson, a play. And what's the logic there? Are you trying to make a playoff push? You came in last place. So as you know, you want to help him with not taking Bryce Young. You want to give him advice from Marvin Harrison Jr. Wouldn't more advice be keep all your draft picks because you have a team to build, not trade it to your cousin Lewis or a player that you can't even keep?
I believe when he made that trade, he was still second in the division. He didn't fall off to after the trade deadline.
Second in the division, but what, 10th overall?
No, he was not. He was not at the bottom of the league.
Oh my god!
Oh, you're
doing pretty good.
That trade sent him free falling down to the bottom of the league.
Wasn't he undefeated for like 2 games, and then he was, I think, 3-1 or 4-2. He did have a winning record for the first third of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd like to get him on the podcast this year because I'd love to hear the logic behind that trade.
Yeah, I get what Lennon's saying. I mean, what's the point? And another brilliantly executed Saul Goodman move right there. I like how you kind of exonerated Quan here. You're like, well, if Quan was really giving him advice, wouldn't he tell him to not trade his draft picks for a guy he would just drop it? I really like that shit. That's real clever, man. But you're right. Why would you make that trade and then kick that fucking guy to the curb? Fuck, man.
Deontay
It's fine. It's fine, man. You said it yourself earlier, Quan. We all know this. The league has gotten more competitive. So I appreciate it when people do stuff like this. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't want to end up in last place.
Defend it, Quan. Defend it.
I don't even know what he's talking about here. But
what?
But I mean, he finished in last place, but it's not because of Deontay Johnson. And a fourth round pick is not a huge fucking,
the first pick in the fourth round. That is one pick after NJC's first pick.
It wasn't the case when we made the
shit.
That is the 37th pick in the draft.
Deontay Johnson was worth a fourth round pick. And he made it. He was double digits You know, when he wasn't scoring double digits, scoring 8, 9, and the dude will be drafted this year.
Well, what is it worth the collusion allegations to have completed that trade?
That's ridiculous. That sounds stupid. Collusion allegations for a 4th round pick. If he gave me a first,
are real.
I can understand that. If he traded me Derrick Henry for for what was it for Derrick Henry under contract?
I can't remember, but that is another great example of some collusions.
Then yes, I would understand that. But Deontay Johnson for a 4th round pick, there's nothing to there. It's whatever. It's nothing to lose or gain.
You knew you were taking advantage of your cousin.
Not at all. What are you talking? That's bullshit.
Lou, nobody believes you're
Just
that
just be honest with the pod.
Come on, man. Tell America and the one listener out there that's fucking listening to us. Wow. Maybe Lennon's friend Jaime will cut us a break because he'll meet us. He'll be like, these fucking guys so cool.
Let's see where Deontay Johnson is drafted this year. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess somewhere around this 6th round.
It might be with 4th round pick, and he's gonna go back to your team.
Possibly.
All right. Just wrapping it up here. We got some. You guys took an epic. So that's it. That's it for the keepers, right? That's it. Yeah. And we'll see about when this thing will air. You know, we got an early draft this year. I was hoping to provide you guys with some road trip entertainment, but all of a sudden everybody thinks that we've given away too much information.
You know, it'd be perfect to air it late Saturday night. We get back, we're having some drinks after the game, and we could all listen to a live podcast. At the Jaime's bringing his DJ equipment, his speaker. We could all sit there, drink.
He's a fucking DJ?
He's a jack of all trades. Not only is he a DJ and a contractor, he is also driving for AGS members to the draft, and he's taking us on the way. We're going to stop in San Marcos at his friend's restaurant, and they'll be taking care of us for lunch on the way down to San Diego.
God damn it! It pays to live in Los Angeles instead of being on the surface of Mars. You know, fucking like fucking the Outback in Mad Max out here, just gas town.
I mean that played into yesterday, right? We're supposed to film the pod, and then last second, hey, do you want to sit 8 rows from the dugout for the Dodger game?
It's funny you brought that up because I had that exact same thought. I was like, fuck. First of all, Lennon's been to like probably twice as many Dodger games as I have this year, and he hates the Dodgers, so that's great. Oh, but my kids love them, so you know, whatever. And then, yeah, you're right, man. Like, oh, you want to come to a game? Yeah, sure. Let me just fucking drive 20 minutes, and I'll be there, whatever it takes. So, yeah, that's cool, man. Instead, I got Spectrum. I'm on the hook with them. I don't want to skip out on this topic though, because this was what sent the thread off, and I found it really interesting. You guys took an epic trip. And I really want to applaud you. I want to know the highlights, but first I want to applaud you guys for your bravery and how you just really feel comfortable in your own skin and just showing this friendship, because you must have known what was coming down the pipeline. And Lou, for your bravery, posting pictures. God bless you. Not only epic videos of the happenings, but then following that up with a photo of you and your lovely wife, just there, so much in love for your bravery. You guys don't give a fuck. That's amazing. That is fucking crazy. So yeah, what were some of the highlights of the?
I will say Lou is a great husband and a great father. He was on display again in Mexico, and he truly values the great relationship and loving relationship and happiness that he shares with his wife and daughters, man. So he's not afraid to put that onto the thread, especially when there are members of the league that are longing for a relationship like Lewis enjoys.
Oh my God. Yeah, wow, that's fucked up, man. Somebody, you can't say anything around these motherfuckers, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing in confidence, nothing when you're faded. Nothing is sacred.
Oh man.
What were some of the highlights?
I'll tell you what, there is a picture that we have not released that may rival the ocean swim in San Diego of me and Quan.
Well, we already saw Quan tongue kissing with the dolphin. That was fucking great. Thank you. Does he know those things get sexually aroused by humans? Is that why he did that? Jesus Christ.
Hey, pro tip. If you ever go swimming with the dolphins, you're not buying the pictures. The pictures cost more than the dolphin experience.
Oh my God.
You know, I'm over here being an asshole trying to take screenshots of Lou and the dolphin, and I get no pictures of our children with the dolphin, and then we find out the price, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not paying that, and all I have is a bunch of pictures of Lou and the dolphin.
Man, I'm sure your wife appreciated that. Just another feather of the cap. your quality husbandry.
She was like, you were taking so many shots. I know you got one of the kids. I was like, actually, they're all of Lewis and the dog.
Dude, when they said take pictures of your loved ones, it didn't mean Quan, for Christ's sake. So that's what I'm saying, man. You guys are so brave to come out in full force and show your love for each other. It's not even June.
When you're comfortable in your own skin, you know, it really doesn't matter. Sometimes I gotta back off on the thread because I can kind of feel that all right, maybe that one's getting a little it's getting a little angry. But
it definitely felt like it touched a nerve there with Boo, and I know he'll deny it to the end of days, but 100%. there felt to be everyone else saw the same pictures. You know, he made himself the unofficial spokesperson for AGS today. How you guys don't want to see any of our travels. And it just felt, the responses felt like something touched a nerve with him for some reason. I don't know what it is, but something touched.
I think it's because Voodoo knows how to work an audience given the nature of his work, and that shit is way funnier when you say no one on AGS wants to see that, whether or not it's true. And it was really unprovoked. I mean, nobody really said anything about slurps, but everybody must have been thinking it. I was thinking it. I'm not really even in the slurp talk, but I was like, dude, these guys are really just letting it hang out, man. Like, and I know there's other picks.
My thought process was, here's the innocent toast of tequila in Cabo, and I was going to leave it alone. And then Lou doubled down with the wife picture, and what was the third one? Wasn't there a third one? Or was
there
it
was a video? Okay, this I felt was a little
controversial. Oh, the video on the boat.
I thought the video was controversial, and this will air, and people will hear this. And I didn't want to put this on the thread because I feel like if I type it out, the context is going to be missed. But you know, in that thread, you're panning around, everybody's having a good time, and you focus there on a lady, and you're like, hey, lovely. You're like,
beautiful.
Oh, God.
Working for the camera.
Now, maybe you guys are doing some swinger shit, and that's all good.
Oh, we're trying. We're trying our damnedest. I propose.
All right. Well,
every family trip, I put it on the table. Let's do a wife swap, and they just laugh. But one year, they're going to give in.
They're like, you silly guys. You guys are gross.
You guys looked at it, and you actually thought that.
Yeah, we are filthy.
You guys are fucking ridiculous.
Look, you can't be so. Are you really that naive? Maybe you are. I'm sorry, man, but that held there. That was a good 3
I was
to 5
trying to get you
second
to
shot.
look at the camera and
yes, you were, and you could have said, "Hey, Alexis." Instead, we're like, I can't even say that shit, dude.
Well, you got to spend more time with Lou. That's just the way he talks.
Beautiful.
He look at the thread. He has nicknames for everybody. CD Lamborghini, the Sun God. So,
I got you.
Beautiful is just a nickname.
You know what? I think this is a perfect way to end this pod with a full Saul Goodman moment here, because here he is for the third time coming through, and this one will get some heat on the thread too, caping up. But I appreciate you guys. This was an extended pre-draft one, pre-draft special. We're coming back with it week to week. Good luck to you guys in the draft. Safe travels to San Diego. Tomorrow's Thursday. We're almost there.
I know. Looking forward to it.
Commissioner, Cebert Frogs, 4-time champ. Quan, 2022 champ. Thanks for joining us tonight. Peace.